Would you like to see Charlie Hunnam as Jax Teller on screen again? Sounds kinda unrealistic to you? Then maybe just keep watching this video and I'll prove you wrong. Before we start, just a little warning, this video will contain spoilers for the original show Sons of Anarchy. The original show Sons of Anarchy was finished almost a decade ago, with the 7th season and the, as we thought, suicide of our main character Jax Teller. But since the premiere of the final episode launched, fans always said we never have seen Jax's dead body, so maybe he could be alive. And I mean, hey, it's TV. You never know if the producers of the show will leave a backdoor open for a comeback. We have seen that to many shows in the last years. The main reason why everybody thought the main story and the story of Jax Teller is done was because Charlie Hunnam told us in many interviews through the last years that with the death of Jax, the character died for him too. It was so emotional for him, the cast and the crew around all the Sons of Anarchy project that he would never jump into Jax's shoes again. But before we jump to the point where things get interesting, I just wanted to mention that almost 80% of our viewers are not subscribers from our channel. So if you don't want to miss out on any Sons of Anarchy updates, you should subscribe us for free. Thanks for your support. A few months ago, we came to a changing point, I guess. Charlie Hunnam had an interview with Access Hollywood about his role in the new Apple TV show Shantaran. The lady in the interview he talked to asked him if he could imagine to play Jax Teller again under any circumstances. This was his answer.
I have an idea that I'm exploring in its infancy, that could be a possibility, and it would be something that I'd be incredibly excited about. So we're sort of, like I said, we're in the infancy of exploring the viability of the idea, but next time I talk to you, hopefully I'll have more information on that.
That sounds really mysterious and teasing to me, but what could he have in mind by telling those things? If it comes to me, I'm really sure that he's telling the truth, because if you look in his eyes, you can clearly see the emotions. And he's really excited about telling more details. I feel like he wants to give us more hints about a comeback from Jax Teller, but at the moment, maybe because of any right things with other companies, he's not able to. And for me, these emotions are not lying, because he worked like 7 years of his life on this character in this show. So what's my theory? I personally think we have 3 options for a Jax Teller return and maybe the return of some other OG cast members. Number 1 would be a spin-off show about Jax Teller's sons, Abel and Thomas. They went to a farm with Nero and Wendy at the end of season 7. Far away from charming and far away from the club. But I think the suicide of Jax could maybe change that. When the kids grow up and they realize what really happened to their dad and the whole backstory of it, they maybe want to take things in their own hands and change them up. Almost like Jax tried with his father John Teller. For me, especially Abel could be really interesting of a character in that show. Because we see in the original show, he's kinda used to those outlaw vibes in his character. Because even in school, he already used violence to get what he wants. And the main thing is, he's really traumatized by knowing that his grandma, or better said finding out that his grandma murdered his mother-in-law Tara. When he gets older and he realized how much of a drama that was, that could maybe give him a little bit of a mental break. So kinda interesting for a character of a show. But which role could Charlie Hunnam as Jax Teller play in that spin-off? I think we could have some time flashback scenes from the time where they were still kids and Jax and Tara were still alive. The other cast members that survived the show, like Tig or Chips, could play their characters just from the point where we stopped in season 7. Would it be interesting for you if I do a full video about all informations we already have about the Abel and Thomas spin-off? Because Kurt Sutter, the creator, gave us some hints and maybe it's already confirmed. Comment below. Option 2 would be absolutely disappointing for me and I bet for many of you too. It would be the reveal that Jax Teller isn't dead and just keep going where they stopped. That would be the easiest way for a comeback, but for me personally it would destroy the end of the show and especially the meaning of the end of the show. For me that would be as unsatisfying as the end of Dexter, I mean the original seasons. So hopefully this will not be the option they choose. Last but not least, we are with option 3. The maybe most realistic option, because it has already been kinda confirmed. It's the First 9 spin-off what already got teased multiple times by Kurt Sutter himself. If you don't know, he's the creator of the SOA franchise and he played Otto Delaney, the guy in prison. But how could Charlie make a comeback as Jax in the First 9 spin-off? Because it plays in a time where he's whether not born or just too young. I think it could be like in option 1. There will probably be some scenes of the time of the first seasons from the original show. So we understand better with the knowledge we get in First 9 why the story of Clay, John or Piney went that way. And I think in that manner Jax Teller, or better said Charlie Hunnam, could play some little roles. Because even if he teased that don't mean that he's kinda a main actor. Maybe it's just some little scenes in another show. But to be honest, if you want to know more about the First 9 spin-off and what's already confirmed, and that's a lot, you should just click the playlist linked on screen right now, because that stuff you maybe don't want to miss out as a real Sons of Anarchy fan.